So yesterday we talked about the altitude theorem. Today we're going to talk about the leg theorem. And the thing that you must do first with the leg is you must identify where is the right angle of the big outside triangle. So if you look at my big figure here, my right angle would be here. And the reason why we do that is because it tells us where the hypotenuse of that big triangle is. And there's my hypotenuse of AC. So AC is my hypotenuse, and that's important because we're going to need that. Okay. Now, with the leg theorem, there are two different legs that you can use. You can either use leg AB, or you can use leg BC. And both of those legs are always squared, okay, just like in the altitude theorem. All right. Now, when I use those legs, the next thing I always put is my hypotenuse, which I told you is AC. So we gotta use that. And then this is where it gets a little tricky. For leg AB, you must use the small segment that is physically touching it, which in this case would be AD. Same thing here. If I use BC, the small leg that's touching it is DC. So it just depends which leg you want to use. So it's going to be easier when I show you some examples. Let's go ahead and go through it. Okay, so the first thing we identify is where's the right angle on the outside big triangle. That would be right here, which tells me over here this whole side is my hypotenuse. And so my hypotenuse, when you add those two numbers together, is 26 units. So the only thing that's not a part of that red line is this right here. That is going to be the leg that you're going to use. So there's my x squared. And remember, it's equal to the hypotenuse, which is 26, times the small leg that green line is touching. So if I look here, the leg that's touching it is right there at 24. So we're going to use that 24. Okay, so and then once you set it up, it's just like we did yesterday with the altitude theorem. We're going to multiply them together. So 26 times 24 gives me 624. And then just like yesterday, you would take the square root. You get x is equal to now, and just like yesterday, you still got to do birthday cake. So 624. Divide that by 2. You get 312. And we're going to divide that by 2 to get 156. And divide that by 2 to get 78. Then we're going to divide that by 2 to get 39. And then we got 3. It can go into that 13 times. And then the only thing left is 13 that goes into it. So again, we're looking for pairs. All right, so you got a pair of 2's that's going to come out. You have a second pair of 2's that's going to come out. And those are going to get multiplied together. Everything left over, which is the 3 and the 13, are going to get multiplied together on the inside. So my answer here would be 4 square root 39. All right, let's do another one. So again, identify the right angle that you have, which is right there. That's on the big triangle, which means my hypotenuse is over here. And they already give you the hypotenuse to be 12. So there's my hypotenuse. Okay. The only thing that's not a part of that red line is down here where the x is. So that's going to be my leg that I'm squaring. Remember, it's equal to the hypotenuse, which we just identified to be 12, times the small leg that it is touching. Now, if you look here, the small leg that it is touching is this piece right here. Well, if the hypotenuse is 12 and that other piece is 7, that must mean that this piece is 5. Okay, so when I multiply them together, I get x squared is equal to 60, and take the square root, and just like we did yesterday, we're going to have to birthday cake it, so 60 divided by 2 gives me 30. Go away. Okay, divide that by 2, 30. Divide that by 2 again to get 15. Then we got 3, then 5, then 5, and then 1. So when we're looking at our pairs, okay, got a pair of 2's that are going to come out. And the only thing that's left inside is 3 times 5, which gives me 15. So my answer is 2 square root 15. All right, last example. And we're not going to do the y and z part. We're just going to do the x part. So again, identify your right angle on the outside triangle, which is this one right here, which means your hypotenuse is over there. And it's this length of the whole thing, which they give me as x. Okay. The only thing that's not part of that red line is this piece right here, which means that's the leg I'm squaring. So it's 27 squared equal to the hypotenuse, which we just said is x, times the small leg that is touching that, which in this case would be that piece right there of 24. So again, 27 squared is 729. That's going to equal 24x. And in this case, nice and easy, we just have to divide by 24 on both sides. And we get x is equal to about 30.4. And we're not doing 15.